some Senate Democrats have been looking into the 2018 confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court and the FBI's investigation of Brett Kavanaugh to report to Congress about what they found about some allegations about Brett Kavanaugh's character and some other criminality he may have been part of. Now, Donald Trump at the time kept publicly saying the FBI was free to investigate Brett Kavanaugh, investigate whoever they wanted, and everything like that. Well, now in this report from some Senate Democrats, they're saying that they have internal emails from the FBI to the White House and differing people in the Trump administration saying that they had direct orders from the Trump White House to only investigate certain people, to not interview Brett Kavanaugh himself, not to interrogate or investigate any of the witnesses, and to only list so many people and to keep it narrow and very narrow in scope. Even after Donald Trump, like I said, was publicly saying they could interview whoever, at one point the FBI reached back out to the White House asking if this had changed, and they were told they'd be in that from the White House that the White House would be in touch if there was any changes to how they were to proceed with investigating Brett Kavanaugh. Now, if these allegations are true, which it looks like they are, that is just another reason why Donald Trump should not be in the White House, should not be reelected. If he's going to hamstring investigations into his picks and his nominees, then it's not a truly a fair vetting process. He's just looking for a rubber stamp for anything he says or does, which is on par with what Donald Trump normally does. He doesn't like it when people push back against any of his ideas. If this investigation would have come up that Brett Kavanaugh was a despicable human being and should not be on the Supreme Court bench, like it is appearing that that is the case, and like people were speculating at the time that he shouldn't have been confirmed. That would make Donald Trump look foolish and bad for appointing him, and Donald Trump didn't want that. His ego couldn't handle it. So he had to weigh in on the investigation and make sure that it went the way he wanted. This is typical Donald Trump with how he would approach a second term should he be reelected. Now, I don't think that's even possible, but if he were to be reelected, he would weigh in heavily on DOJ investigations. Remember, he's called for jailing and prosecuting anybody involved in investigating him already for any of the misdeeds that he's been indicted for, taken to trial for, etc., along with any journalist that has written any unflattering story about him. He wants them all jailed, and he would lean on the DOJ to make it happen. This just proves this is exactly what we knew about Donald Trump, and it does not help him in the wave of, in the minds of a lot of independent voters or those who haven't made up their minds yet. If they hear this story, they're not going to be swayed to vote for Donald Trump. I don't think so. He will lay his thumb on the scale of justice to make it tip in the favor of whichever way he wants it to go. And that is not somebody we can have as the President of the United States. There needs to be an independent Department of Justice, like with what Joe Biden has done with the investigations into not only himself, but his son Hunter, etc. He let them play out and just said, do what you need to do and we'll deal with it afterward. That is what we need out of a leader. We don't need somebody with their thumb on the scale making sure that they get the outcome that they want.